Although Istanbul is not the capital of Turkey, it is the most relocating expatriates coming to Turkey. And it's a large city spread over two continents, Europe and Asia. It has about 17 million residents and still growing. As mentioned, Istanbul is not a capital, it's the country's economical and financial hub, and around 90% of relocating expatriates move there. Other cities where assignments may take place are Ankara, Izmir, and Bursa. Popular areas for assignees are generally along the Bosphorus side or in one of the satellite towns recently constructed. 95% of available housing in the city is apartments, with very few stand-alone houses. The few houses that are available come at a premium price, starting from $8,000 a month and up. Anything with a view or the sea or the Bosphorus compounds and larger properties means substantially higher rent, perhaps 50% or more. Shanty towns are mixed in popular well-off neighborhoods, which is a sign of Istanbul's very rapid expansion. But government is doing more to invest in large housing projects. Properties are generally larger than in Europe. They have larger living rooms but smaller bedrooms and kitchens. Studio apartments are very rare and sometimes even one-bedroom apartments. Pets and children are sometimes, unfortunately, not accepted. For houses or villas living further afield outside of Istanbul brings more choices, with most places being on compounds. A lot of people live on compounds, especially families, because it's a safe environment where children can safely play outside. They are not like the gated communities in Middle Eastern countries, which are specifically built with security in mind. Istanbul does not have a security problem and is safer than most Western European large cities. Compounds are shared facilities with open spaces like gardens, swimming pools, car parks, or even gyms. Each one is different as to what they offer. Istanbul lacks city parks and open green areas, so compounds are a very popular option. They do come with a fee, communal cost that will need to be factored in your budget. Each compound differs in price depending on facilities and whether water or heating is shared, and properties are normally unfurnished, which means no kitchen appliances or light fixtures are included. All kitchen appliances such as the refrigerator, oven, dishwasher, and washing machine are considered extras by the landlord. So tenants are supposed to bring or buy their own unless the owner actually has a fully furnished built-in kitchen. This can be the case with both apartments and houses. May, June, and July are the most active times for the housing market, and properties can move very quickly as there are plenty of other foreign assignees as well as native who want to move. Houses in the city are very rare, and when they come to the market, they move very quickly, even within hours. It's common for property viewing to be cancelled on the day of the home search because they have already been rented. There's a good range of options when it comes to apartments, but it is low when it comes to apartments with 5 bedrooms or more. Some landlords may request a deposit to hold a property that an assignee really wants, but this isn't a common practice, as we generally advise against it, as this deposit is non-refundable. Istanbul has a very changeable climate with hot, humid summers and cold, damp winters. And regardless how expensive a property is, it can be easily get damp and have bubbling paint because of structures are made of concrete. This applies especially to properties that have been vacant for a while and they have not been regularly maintained. Turkey has had earthquakes, and accommodations built after 1999 are preferable because they will adhere to stricter governmental regulations. But most areas where assignees tend to live are classed as secure with solid ground and not reclaimed land, which is most vulnerable to seismic activity. There are getting to be more and more choices for service apartments, but there's still a big shortage when it comes to 2 or 3 bedroom places. And unfortunately, 4-bedroom flats do not exist. Rates are high, and you are generally looking at around 4,500 euros a month for 2-bedroom service apartments. There are only 3 international English-speaking high schools in Istanbul, all on the European side, with one in the city and the other 2 outside. There are, of course, the German and French schools and a wide variety of pre- and primary schools. Some of these schools have waiting lists, especially the IICS campus and other popular preschools that are within the city. All schools have bus service, and they offer door-to-door service rather than a designated bus stop. Preschools are widely available, but the high schools have very limited availability. Apply for a place as far in advance as possible. Istanbul is a unique place geographically. The Bosphorus splits the city into 2. And one side is European continent, the other side of Istanbul is Asian continent. So we call it a European side, and the other side is an Asian side. Istanbul is divided in half by Bosphorus Straits, which have only 2 bridges crossing them. A train tunnel is due to open next year, and the 3rd bridge is planned for the end of this decade. Driving styles are similar to those found in Mediterranean, which is to North Americans and Western Europeans means fast and somewhat chaotic. Traffic is very unpredictable. More than 3 million vehicles travel on Istanbul's road every day. There is lighter traffic during the summer months due to school holidays and the local population staying at their summer residences. Public transportation carries around 5 to 6 million passengers every day. This consists of trams, buses, ferries, sea taxis, dolmuş, which is a shared minibus, and regular taxis. The public transport is quite packed, and metro line covers the whole city because there is only one line. It's common for a assignee to have a car with a driver, and most expats actually skip the public transportation system because taxis are preferable and they are quite cheap. Prepaid cars are available also for public transportation. English is not widely spoken amongst working class Turks, but Turkish is not an easy language to learn, and most people on short-term assignments don't take the time to learn it. So communication with locals can be frustrating. More of the younger generation are learning English though, but knowing just a few words in Turkish will go a long way and greatly appreciated by the natives, who see that an effort was made to learn some words. It also opens more doors when you can express yourself in the native language. A service culture is lacking in Turkey in general, and also in Istanbul, and punctuality is not a strong point either. Technicians schedule appointments but often name a day rather than a time, and sometimes they don't even keep that without warning. This can be terribly frustrating, especially when trying to accomplish critical tasks like setting up utilities. Signage is often lacking, and commuting times can be very long. Another area expats often find discomforting is that the concept of personal space is absent from the Turkish culture. People stand too close when you are at the ATM and on public transportation and when queuing. If you leave the slightest gap when you're queuing, someone may or surely jump in to the space. Istanbul is the largest city in Turkey and offers so much in daily life. There are so many places to visit because the city has such a long history. It attracts many tourists from around the world because of its unique location, like Europe and Asia in one city, continents in both cities. Its commercial and historical center lie in Europe, while the majority of its people live in Asia. It has a great nightlife and high-end restaurants and very popular nightclubs, as well as simple local places. Turkey in general has so much to offer, like forests, mountains, crystal clear sea, long beaches, Roman ruins, and so much more. It's also renowned for its hospitality and friendly people.